You're listening to the Wicked Theory Podcast.
We're very happy to have you back, even for a short visit.
And here we go.
Broadcasting to you live from Oliver Queen's dream wedding, where all the food is bland because it isn't real, Thea. This is the Wicked Theory Podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Wicked Theory Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Bill Swing. And across from me is, I got my buddy Ed.
Hey.
A little less cocaine next time. And then I got my brother Bob. That's him. He's on guitar, rocking it to you hardcore. Yeah, here we are again, another week. This is episode 83. And just happy to be here. Just happy to be here, man.
Feeling high on life, Bill.
You know, just wound up, rip-raring, ready to go.
Yup.
Emphasis on rip. No. Gotta say, straight edge, man, all the way. You know, totally straight edge.
Get high on life.
Yeah.
You know what happens?
I believe that.
You know what happens when you get high on life, Bill?
What is that?
You commit suicide.
Oh shit! Is that how that works?
Yeah, usually, like right after someone says that, that's
the death knell.
That's how you know. Like that's a call for help.
Maybe it's all about the tone when you hear somebody say that. Like, just get high on life. All right. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and then you never see him the next day. Tomorrow never comes for that guy. All right. This is a real upbeat episode. This is 83. Let's tease it out a little bit. We're going to do the meanwhile. So we talk about some stuff that went on that we watched or caught. We're going to do some news. We're going to do pitch versus pitch last week.
Pitch versus pitch.
Pitch versus pitch. Last week, Brother Bob threw out a title at us. And it was our job, me and you, to go back and write up pitches for that movie title.
Yep.
And we threw it out to the emailers. And we got some emails for that.
Cool.
We got 4 people, actually. So I look forward to that a little bit later on. And also the DCTV report.
Yep.
That's the new thing. That's the new thing we're doing. And this week it should be pretty good because they made it easy for us a little bit.
Yeah, 4 of the shows tied together.
And,
well, really 3.
It's really like one.
You're 3 and like an eighth.
If you boil it down, it might even be less than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we'll get into all that a little bit later. So official business real quick is that if people want to send us emails, I mentioned emails, we do that. This is a podcast, so you can send it to podcast@wickedtheory.com. Send what you like. You can send us lightning round questions if you know what that bit is. You can send us pitch for pitch whenever we're playing that game. You could send us
just anything that comes out of your crazy little brain.
As long as it's short.
Yes, short and sweet
Yeah.
makes me feel neat. But yeah, so do that. Send us stuff, send your questions, send your obnoxious comments. Then you can hear us every Saturday, like some of you are listening right now, live on Mixler at mixler.com/wicked-theory.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're live?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, live so we can hear Agent Palmer asking us for mumra questions.
Well, what? Oh, Ask Mama. Remember that bit?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
We've only done it twice.
That's true.
You
That's
remember?
true.
I remember.
It might be once more than necessary. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. We'll bring it back at some point. He shall return. So the people, if they want him back, they'll send some mum rock questions. That was supposed to be the bit anyway.
Yeah.
It was that we started, and then the audience kind of like, we have to remind them a little bit though. So then, outside of that, you can support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/Wicked Theory. If you come in for $1, you get the after shows that used to disappear. Now we throw them on the Patreon. $1 membership gets you those in case you miss them.
Right.
Or in case you're busy today and you just can't listen live. That's okay.
Patreon also gets once a month an exclusive
That's
Patreon
right.
video.
That's
audio,
right.
Excuse me.
At the $3 level, you get
Sure.
the once monthly special. And this month, me and Bob sat down
Yeah, that was kind of
and
fun.
relived the only bit that I ever cut out of an episode in total, which is the infamous, or sometimes mentioned, maybe not infamous, but it's sometimes mentioned and hinted at, the Bane bit, which was Bane was going to run for office for 2016. And
no, I had no clue. And
just listen to it, folks.
The bit was supposed to be a twisted bit.
It all imploded.
Yeah.
There's multiple layers of
I didn't
implosion.
Get the bit.
Don't. It's on me too, man. It's on me too. There's multiple layers of implosion on that. So me and Bob kind of relived it, listened to it, and we kind of stopped and play.
Which led to contusions.
There you go. There you go. And we've learned. We've come a long way because that was a bit back in episode 11.
Yeah,
And,
that was the Omni mic days.
Yeah.
That was the pre-ed era.
That was That was PE. That was pre-ed.
PTD. TBD. PTBD.
There you go.
Yeah.
A little confusing putting that together.
Whew, hurting my head right now. So I think that rounds out the official business. Good
night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, and we're going home. Let's see who's in the chat room. I see some people we don't normally see.
Oh, we got the Kilted Ginger.
That's right.
We got Quadcast Courtney, Chad NV,
Hey.
Wesley Ryan Gaskins.
That's right.
Agent Palmer.
Hey,
And Monkey Poo Studios.
the entire company.
Yes.
The entire company
Now, I don't know,
is in our chat room.
Is
folks.
that Jay or Grant?
I believe that is Jay. I believe that is Jay.
Oh, okay.
And I will give one big blanket hello
Oh, okay.
I
to you all.
Yes, I just wanted to let them know that there is no throwing monkey poo in the chat room.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise, you can do what you want with it.
Well,
you can wear it like makeup. You can eat it. I don't care.
He's grilling up bacon burgers right now.
Oh, good
And
man.
it's funny because I was always under the impression that Jay didn't listen to our show just to spite Grant.
What?
like
Because Grant was always dropping mentions of us, so he was like, I'm sure I like those guys. They're good guys, but I'm not gonna, like he's had enough.
We're on episode 83 right now, but still, he constantly brings up that we just celebrated our 50th episode.
Oh man, I missed that bit. a little bit.
It's still happening.
It probably is. It's somewhere. It's like anywhere in the world right now. There's a bar open. Anywhere in the world right now, somebody is doing that bit. All right, so that pretty much rounds out the chat. Hey, chat room people, thanks for hanging out. But we should probably we could do some meanwhile. We could do that. We could jump into that stuff.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, it's meanwhile. So Ed, why don't you go first?
Okay.
I don't. Oh, I do know what one of those things is. What do you got in the list?
Okay, well, first off, I know everyone wants me to jump into the Invasion crossover for the CW shows, but we're going to get to that. Just sit tight.
Oh, I'm sure everybody was like, hey, when?
It's DCTV.
Oh, unless you mean that literally, and in the chat room people are like,
even the chat room people are asking.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it comes a little bit later.
But I'm going to talk about two other things. One is a comic book slash prose, and the other is a TV show. But AD After Death is a...
is that Jeff Lemire?
Yeah, it's written by Scott Snyder, drawn by Jeff Lemire.
Okay.
And if you go to the comic shop, it's not a standard comic. It actually comes in, it looks like a kid's book, but it's this magazine-style prestige format.
Okay.
And it's like a combination between a prose short story and a comic.
Okay.
And it's about this guy looking back kind of through his troubled childhood and his mom getting sick, and then looking forward to a life where the world, aliens have hit the earth, or something's happened.
Okay.
And now people don't age anymore, and it's thousands of years later, and he's one of the only people on Earth who still has memories. And it's this weird sci-fi Twilight Zone type story that Jeff Lemire is famous for writing, but it's Scott Snyder doing it, and it's really, really interesting. If I explain it anymore, I'll just confuse people. But it's called AD After Death. And After Death means after death stopped being a thing on this world.
Fair enough. Okay, I see.
But it's a really interesting combination between prose and comics.
Okay.
You got to do a little bit of reading. It's not just watching the pictures.
Oh.
But it's worth it, I promise.
So many words in these books. Too many words. No, but I've seen that on the horizon. I knew that was coming out. I'm kind of like miffed now that I didn't go to the shop this week.
Yeah.
That came out this week?
Yes. Oh no, it came out a week and a half ago.
Okay.
We came out 2 weeks ago.
2 Wednesdays ago.
Yeah.
So last time you actually went, you missed out.
No, last time I actually went was the week before because I'm 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that now, where it's 2 weeks off and then I catch my books, just because it's.
This way you won't.
I don't
want to
travel
more than you really need to.
No, I'll probably. There's a good chance I'll miss out on some stuff. So yeah, fair enough. But the idea is really that I just don't want to travel in the cold on on those extra buses that I got. There's 2 extra buses I got to jump on.
Yeah.
So there's that. But
Comic Book Jones should have a mail plan.
they do actually. They do mail out stuff, but I mean it's a little ridiculous. I'm down the street. I'm in the town. Like you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
but if you do go on vacation, like they've got a couple. I saw them packaging stuff up. I'm like, I didn't know you guys do mail service. And they're like, no, we just have a few people that have moved since coming here, and they still want us to put their comics together and mail them out. I'm like, despite the fact that they have local shops, they're like, yeah, they just. It's like I'm a little surprised too. Like you know what I mean? Like you just would figure,
They're loyal.
But that's it. They're loyal, and I was like, well, I guess
that's very cool actually.
That's actually shows you how much those guys win you over, I guess. So what's the other thing you got? Goliath. That's a TV show.
Yes, it's on
Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
See, I know my stuff, but I don't know. Tell me more.
Billy Bob Thornton stars as a washed up
No way.
lawyer
Oh, okay.
who decides to bring a wrongful death suit against the firm the big giant enormous law firm that he created and was kicked out of.
Oh well, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Sour
And it's
grapes.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting story. I've only seen 2 episodes so far. The whole series is up on Amazon Prime, but it's really, really fun writing. William Hurt plays this kind of like his old partner who's sort of the mastermind. He's the big bad guy.
All right.
Like half his face has been burnt off.
Oh, that's cool.
And he he only is in this dark room with like just red lighting.
Right.
So
And
he's Two-Face the lawyer?
There you go.
Sort of. But like what's really funny is like, he'll say things like, "Bring me the mouse. I want the mouse." And the mouse is just some other person in the law firm.
Okay.
But it's really fun to see someone, be like a bad guy.
Right.
Like there's no subtlety in that character.
Right.
It's like I would be twirling my mustache if someone hadn't burned my fucking face off.
Okay. All right.
But otherwise, it's an interesting show, and I think people should check it out.
Is that one of the ones? Do they dole it out, or is it all the episodes at once?
They don't. No, it's up for binging. They just drop them all at once.
Right. Very good. So how many have you watched then?
I've watched 2.
Two.
And 2 has one hell of a surprise ending.
Oh, twist! They put the twisty twist in number 2.
Yep.
All right, well that's cool. All right, and then I guess it's over to me for.
You've got a couple things.
I got a couple things in there. So this weekend, actually today, PlayStation. It's game stuff. We usually don't get into game stuff too much, but it's PlayStation related, and that's my jam. So this weekend they put out some trailers because they had the big expo, PSX, which just for me, the highlights for me personally are just The Last of Us 2. They put out a small trailer for it, though it's not really like a full trailer. It's more of a tease kind of thing. It's 2 minutes, but it doesn't show any real gameplay. It's story stuff, which is nice, which is cool. But it's very one scene. It's a dour moment kind of thing, which fits that story. But
I was always going to ask because I always get I don't play video games.
Right. You just learned about them about a week ago.
Yeah. Well, no, I always thought about it, but my parents never believed in paying for them. By the time I could afford them, my hand-eye coordination was shot.
Sure.
Anyway,
blame it on whatever you want.
yes.
But go on.
Yes.
Are you trying to tell
anyway,
us that you download them illegally on your PC?
No. I always get confused when watching trailers for video games as to how much of it is gameplay and how much of it is not.
Well, that's probably getting harder anyway these days. But used to be you could just kind of tell because like it would just jump in quality.
Well, one would be like a CG cutscene, and then you'd have these low-res. Well, today, comparably low-res graphics.
Right. Or clunk your animation.
You can get really, really close.
Yeah, the line between those two different kinds of
and it's
scenes
going to get even blurrier in the next generation.
Yeah. So speaking of which, the other trailer that people might want to go check out, which is just creepy and confusing in general, but. So Hideo Kojima, the guy behind the Metal Gear Solid games, has long ago left
He's
that
got
company.
He's got his own thing going on now.
Yeah.
He left because they were doing they were doing a Metal Gear zombie game.
Okay, and that was
And he
kind of
was
pushed
like,
him.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? Because they just wanted to be able to use the license any way they wanted.
Right.
And he had the tight rein on it, so finally that was it.
So this week, in anticipation, I guess, of the PSX Expo coming out, they put out some trailers for Death Stranding, STR, not Death Standing, Death Stranding.
Yeah, okay.
And creepy as fuck, weird, surreal kind of stuff, but very just out there, man. So it's got one trailer is just Norman Reedus. He's basically naked for the whole thing. He's CG and all that. Like, it's video game footage. But
So he's video game naked.
He's video game naked. You really don't see his ding-a-ling. But he is, he wakes up on a beach, and, like, it's just very kind of like, what is going on? Like, did I just turn into, like, episode 6 of Twin Peaks? Like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Because nothing makes any sense, really. He wakes up on a beach. It's all black sand. He's, like, dirty, but he's got handprints all over him, like where the dirt kind of came away from him. Something with this baby. There's a baby. He's naked. Like, I don't know. It's very atmospheric and stuff. And then there's a second trailer, which is a whole different scene, which is basically Guillermo del Toro is in it. And he, too, maybe this is later, has a baby, but his baby's in a fucking jar. Oh. All right? And, like, he's, like, right near this tunnel in the city that's kind of, like, overrun. There's a tank that goes by above him. He's hiding from it. The tank's got, like, tentacles and shit hanging all over it. You don't know what the fuck is going on. He goes into a tunnel, and all of a sudden there's, like, 4 soldiers coming through the darkness at him kind of in this tunnel, and as they come out of the dark you can kind of see like, oh, okay, they're soldiers or whatever, but then no, they don't have skin. It's just like skeletons, I guess, in soldier outfits. All right, and then all of a sudden Mads Mikkelsen is the metal guy controlling all of them, and it's like, what the fuck, God, Jesus Christ. So yeah, so now
just any, I don't care what it is.
Right.
In any entertainment property, if Mads Mikkelsen shows up, just run.
Just run. You're
Just
not safe anymore.
run.
You're going to at the very least be creeped out. Just, and it's
The
like
worst. The worst thing can happen
Yeah.
is he's falsely accused of child molestation.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
And don't get me wrong, these are both like 3 minutes plus. I think the one with Guillermo del Toro is actually like 4 or 5 minutes, where almost nothing happens.
Yeah.
They're very slow paced. It's all building atmosphere of weird, but that's why I like it so much. Like, so one of the things I saw today at PS Expo was that, like, Guillermo del Toro, as much as his likeness is in it, he just doesn't have the schedule to commit to being the voice for that character and doing all the motion capture.
Okay.
But the other two, fully vested in it. Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen, fully committed, like, voice work and motion cap stuff. So, although this game is not going to be around for a while, I'm sure people will be nonstop talking about it when it lands. So just go check it out. I mean, that's just it's got me jazzed. I'm usually not too jazzed about video game stuff in general, unless it's something like that really kind of breaks the mold lately.
Right.
So there you go. There's that.
Cool.
So that's what I got for the meanwhile. Meanwhile, so I guess we're wrapping that up. And meanwhile, as we're leaving out the door,
What that means?
you know what I'm saying. So I guess what's next is a little thing we call news. News o'clock. It's news time. Nerdy news, mostly, usually, and
So-
sometimes only.
Yep.
Where did we start off this week?
Oh, we're
buddy?
starting off in TV, and we got some sad news.
Yeah, well, it's
this is-
it's a twist, it's a turn.
No
one saw this coming.
So The Walking Dead
Yeah.
has seen very steep ratings drop
It's
in
insane.
this latest season.
It's insane.
Um,
It's like lemmings going off the
yeah.
cliff.
I mean, Walking Dead consistently has been like the top rated show on Sunday nights. Like,
Yeah.
like not just cable.
Yeah,
But,
it's like it's
been-
between like 11s and 15s, I think, between premieres and running episodes.
Yeah, well, like
So
I
is it being beaten by Celebrity Chef yet, or what?
No, it seems like the theories are.
well, I mean, it's still pretty damn good.
yeah,
Yeah, the numbers are still good, but just the rate of drop is
it's knocked it back to like
yeah.
season 3 or 4 numbers.
Yeah,
Is how they're kind of putting it, right?
last season, it was like consistently at like I think around like 16 million.
Yeah,
and it started at 17 for episode 1.
coming back this season.
Yes, yeah, and now then I'm just giving you just the numbers.
Right.
Episode 2 was 12.4. Then 3 was 11.7.
Right.
4 was 11.4. 5 was 11.0, and 6 that just aired was 10.4. So it's
lost
dropping
about a third of its.
Yeah. So a lot of people are thinking, oh, it's because of this new character Negan. A lot of people feel like they're just kind of theorizing anyway why this drop in numbers is that maybe because it was such a violent season opener where it was kind of a little bit over the top anyway, and it might have chased some people away.
Yeah, and I think the thing you realize, each episode they've touched on a different part of the group,
and that was another theory too. Is that like they keep separating everybody, and not only that, but then like whole episodes about just one group of people.
Yeah, and it's also like you're splitting hairs too much now. You've got to start bringing things back.
I really feel like the show, and we were saying this before.
Think it's getting a little convoluted, a little too.
No, it's just the way that they divvy it up. Like, how
Yeah.
it's like a thing a lot of shows do. Like Lost used to do it, where it would be constantly splitting up the characters, and there's like 2 people doing this kind of adventure over here.
Right.
There's 2 other people here, 3 people there.
and
Who's
that's
going
fun.
to collect water? Who's going to get firewood?
right. Coconuts.
Yeah,
and stuff.
but the problem is instead of touching on most of those people in one episode, making it an ensemble show, they'll spend one episode with just one group.
Yeah. So
And
if
progress
like you don't
just
like
that storyline,
so if you don't care about Jackie and whoever, then like
you're not
maybe
going to watch that episode.
or it's just not doing it for you.
Yeah, or it's like and this is a weird show to compare it to, but Gotham. You have 3 distinct storylines. You have the Penguin, the
that's how
Jim
most
Gordon,
shows really
and the
run.
Bruce.
Yeah.
And this was like if they just stuck with Bruce for an episode, and didn't do anything with Jim Gordon or Penguin.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing that Walking Dead's been doing since about like season 2.
Yeah.
Like hardcore, where it's how they pace out the season. It's how they spread it out. It's their thing.
Yeah.
And I get it, but you have to touch back with at least the main town where the main biggest group of characters is more often.
Some people are going to get tired of saying, "Hey, what happens? What about those people?"
Yeah.
Every episode. If they do it a couple of episodes, they might just get alienated and leave.
Yeah. Which what ends up happening is like usually halfway through the season or just in time, right before the mid-season finale and season finale, you start following the main group more. And they start splitting the episode between storylines more.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. Well, also, I feel like... Because the way this series has been since, like, season 2, it's constantly expand and contract.
Right.
Where something big will happen, and then you'll spend 2 or 3 episodes just reacting to that thing.
Right.
And then you'll spend another 2 or 3 episodes ramping up to something else. And then another big thing would happen.
That's kind of like the side effect of the split season like this.
But also, I think that what happened in the premiere was so huge that it's taken 5 episodes for that aftershock. And now you only have 2 left until the finale.
And I do think one of their thinkings was this, though. Like, coming out of that season premiere where everybody was going to be all upset and broken from losing those characters and having it be so brutal, that if we just followed the town and those sullen, miserable people, like, that would just make the show feel incredibly dour. And that was probably a thing they were trying to avoid a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still feel like you needed to touch base there a little bit, even if we only got 1 scene per episode, like at the end or something like that. But anyway.
Right. As like a meanwhile with these guys.
Yeah, like, just to let you know that, hey, they're still alive, or something.
Right.
All right, so what's next then, buddy?
Okay, so Sci-Fi is developing a TV show based on The Woods, graphic novel by James Tynion IV and Michael Dialinas.
So I put this in the notes there. I don't know when I dropped it, but I only dropped it because I had to make hard sacrifices at the time, and I figured I would start to pick it up and trade paperback, and I just haven't.
Yeah.
But I read probably the first year and a half or so of The Woods, and it's a good book. It's a great book. The hook on this is a whole high school, and everybody in it, from staff to any parents that might have been in the building, all the students. It just gets dropped. It just blinks, and all of a sudden it's on another planet. Basically, it's in the woods on some distant moon, and it's like boom, and they don't know why, they don't know how, and it's just like the story starts from there, basically. So you follow a certain kind of group of kids that kind of come and go, some of the staff, and it's all this kind of like, which kids want to go outside and figure it out, who's got actual, like, good ideas, but they're kids, so they're not going to listen to them, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Staff isn't getting along because they all got different ideas of what they should be doing. So it's playing with not just, like, these fantasy and, like, crazy realistic elements. It's playing with a lot of this interpersonal, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a gym teacher. Yeah. I shouldn't. What? You know what I mean? So,
in a situation like that, you're supposed to just go on your own and figure shit out because you can't in that group.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and the only thing I kept on thinking is
that's classic horror stuff, though.
Because the book was planned for just 36 issues is the outline for this.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're up to right now in the monthlies, but
27.
Thank you. But it was just that, like, well, the kids outnumber the staff. Like, just saying. If there has to be a mutiny or an uprising, I don't know if it comes. I didn't get to that, but that was one of the things in the back of my head. I was like, if this turns into Lord of the Flies, I think the kids are going to win. Just it's possible anyway. But
and it could go that way. We don't know.
And the whole time I was reading it, I really felt like, oh, this is so perfect for a TV show kind of thing. So I'm kind of excited to hear that that was something that just popped up on the news in the feed recently in the last couple of hours. What else after that then?
Okay, so some comics news. Anyone ever heard of Hoopla?
Hoopla.
Hoopla?
Yeah, I can spell Hoopla.
So it's a digital streaming service.
Yeah.
That you can sign up through your public library.
Ooh.
If you have a library card.
Wow,
with a library, that is connected to Hoopla, you could stream free movies, music, ebooks, TV series, and now the entire DC Comics Rebirth line.
Wow, that's a not just the number ones, the whole whatever it's up to.
Yeah, the whole.
Well, that's a lot of books.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah, and who even knew that the public libraries were doing that with the like you don't even have to go to the library now to go get the stuff.
Well, evidently,
is that what's going on? Or I have to go there, activate it. Well, I still have to physically go to the library.
The way subscriptions are available through public libraries, so you have to go to the library just to sign up.
Fair enough. They got to get you in the door somehow.
Yeah, and that enables you to quote unquote borrow items digitally for a temporary period.
Yeah,
the library pays a fee, but the library member does not.
Okay.
Yeah, and evidently they do have a lot of stuff from DC, Dark Horse, Image, and Valiant available.
Sure.
But like DC's committed to making the entire Rebirth line available through Hoopla.
They were like, how can we get some promotional materials inside of libraries?
Yeah. Well, evidently there's been...
Because it's at least posters and standees like all over the libraries now. Then.
Evidently there's been a little bit of backlash because this announcement came the day after the deadline for retailers to get in their orders for Rebirth, the first wave of Rebirth graphic novels.
Strategically timed. You would think they would have waited a little bit more.
Yeah,
just a little bit more.
So now a bunch of comic store owners are going, "What the fuck, man?"
yeah, I'm sure, and there's I'm sure there's just droves of people at the libraries waiting for these. But hey, you know what? It's a start. It's an initiative. That could bring some kind of.
Is it going to make you go get a library card again?
No.
How about you, Ed?
But yeah, I'm not.
How about you?
I don't know. I think there's a book I bought from the library. I loaned to the friend, and he never gave it back to me. So I don't know if this
is all part of the library's plan to get some money out of people. Like, if you want these comics, we got to square up. So actually, it is costing you something.
Your record here, sir, you're going to have to buy this thing that you lost 37 times.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had the Anarchist Cookbook, but you keep taking it out of the library.
You've had it out for 20 years. How's that possible?
All right. So, all right. Well, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Like, it's actually cool just to know that some libraries are even doing that kind of a service in general.
Yeah, I think comic book owners got to realize that not everyone's just going to go to the library for this. Or,
Hey, I think there's still spots in the country where they're just, your library is probably closer than your local comic shop, just because of the nature of, local logistics and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they got to worry about the graphic novels because if people are into comic books, they end up buying the graphic novels.
I just don't know how much local libraries are going to, that this service is going to dig into your sales as a comic shop for those particular things. It's not a cool move.
No.
Don't get me wrong, but what that's going to translate to as far as like really lost sales.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. All right. So what's next on that list of your
Well, the
thing?
next one might be a non-story now.
Okay.
Because so someone named Tim Stiefler,
What?
I don't know, did an 80-minute version of the entire Harry Potter series.
I heard about it, but I didn't check it out.
Yeah, it took all 8 movies. I was going to, and didn't have the chance to.
And now it's gone?
Yeah, looks like it was taken down. It's a shame. But evidently he took all 8 movies. He said a lot of it was from the first movie and the last like 2 or 3. But was able to condense it down to one 80-minute story with a distinct beginning, middle, and end.
And coherence?
Yeah.
Well, that's,
He called it Wizardhood as kind of like a nod to Boyhood.
Gotcha. No, I gotcha. So, all right. So,
So he's basically made the old Cliff Notes, if anybody remembers Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
if anybody remembers that. But,
version of Harry Potter.
Yeah, the speed version. I didn't mean to check it out. I was concerned. I was curious, not concerned.
Yeah.
I couldn't really care.
Yeah, it would have been like if they made Harry Potter in the 80s, like when they made movies where they didn't care if there was a sequel, where it was just like, we just...
Yeah, we'll slap it together. But I was curious as to if he was doing any kind of conceits or tricks to kind of fill up the time, like if it was like a title cards or something like that, where it's like, so 6 years pass, you know what I mean? Because all of a sudden now Harry Potter's like, 24 years old, so... or whatever, like these kinds of things that would help bridge the gap, or if it was just relying on the scenes in the movie and like your pre-knowledge. But anyway, enough of that. Go on. What's next? Is there more Harry Potter stuff?
Anyone here ever read the Kingkiller Chronicle?
No. Have you?
I have not.
Okay.
But it's evidently it's the new Hunger Games.
Oh. But it's not new books, though.
No, but it's kind of like a young adult fantasy story. But Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton fame has been is writing the music for the movie version.
He's just writing the music?
Well, evidently he's a big part of. He's a creative producer on the project. And he's developing. I think it's not just going to be movies. There's also going to be a stage version.
Oh, okay.
That he's putting together as well.
All right.
So, so if
I'm just curious as to, as long as he's writing music but not making it a musical, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Like, I got a feeling something called Kingkiller is not really a musical. But who knows?
It's a super beloved fantasy series, the fictional autobiography of Kvothe, a famous Kvoth.
I knew it. Not with the E though. Anyway, go on.
Why do people have to keep trying to like verbalize or vocalize the sound of a sneeze?
He's a famous musician and musical adventurer.
Oh, okay. So there is a music
and
component
magical
to
adventurer, rather.
All
So
magical or musical?
Like a sequel
he's
to
a
Kubo?
musician and a magical adventurer.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So it's kind of like Kubo.
Yeah, and it's
What is that?
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, okay. 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 Fucking Bob.
so evidently.
But yeah.
Evidently, Lionsgate, who did the Hunger Games movies, has the rights.
Oh,
And,
okay. They're looking for
to
another
make
thing.
this.
They're looking for a new thing. All right. Next. Next. What do we
Okay,
got?
so Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh, okay.
For Jurassic World 2.
Yeah, big announcement.
Yes. So evidently she will have sensible shoes. In
That's
this
good.
movie.
That's good.
All right.
This became a
We
headline.
were all worried about that.
Well, evidently that was like my mom's favorite part of the movie. The fact that she did all of that in heels.
What's funny is that some people were like buying it.
Yeah.
And then half the internet was like, this is ridiculous. Just stop. She's running through mud and it's not affecting her heels. Like, come on. She's got 6-inch stilettos on.
Right. Well, so this time they're going to be 12s with platforms.
Yeah.
Just boots.
Yeah,
Just boots.
so evidently Colin Trevorrow, the director, tweeted a selection of the boots that they are looking at for her to wear in the movie.
Does the internet approve of these choices?
Should be wearing Uggs.
Yeah.
Even worse. Just soppy Uggs
Yeah.
running through puddles.
Yeah. And that movie's set to come out in June of 2018.
All right. Well, that's
So they're shopping for those shoes right now. Then
yeah. So we know what will be the hot trend for merchandise for that movie.
Yeah.
Boots.
But
yeah. All right. So internet, you got what you wanted. All right. No more heels on her in these movies. You win, internet. You win.
Well, you're okay.
This time.
So the next link you gave me didn't bring up a story. It bring up a 404 error.
Oh no.
So
was
I
the
hope
link?
Jeff Bridges explains how he helped rework the first Iron Man.
Oh,
so I hope you read this story because I didn't.
No, that's Palmer. So you're going to have to try and do a quick Google search while I
in that
vamp.
case, send all of your hate mails to theagentpalmer@gmail.com.
Agent Palmer. Let me see if maybe it's not you. Maybe it's.
it's 404. No post.
Let me see if it opens up for me.
It's on Gizmodo.
Oh, is that the problem?
I don't know. That's just the website.
Yeah, Gizmodo usually has a few bad.
Yeah, no post
Bad
found
links.
for this tag.
Maybe they got forced to take it down.
Hard to believe. I just give that kid a promotion too.
It's weird.
But it's a good thing it wasn't. a
Wait,
raise.
he gets the God.
It was just a promotion. It wasn't a raise.
Well, he got the promotion because you've been forgetting to take out the garbage when you leave.
What? Wait, that wasn't on my list of responsibilities.
Just because it's not on the list doesn't mean it's not one of your responsibilities.
You know.
Oh, I have to make a list now. Just do stuff,
Okay.
You're supposed to do our dishes and take out our garbage.
and then as you do, go and make sure that we see it, because otherwise you won't get the credit for it.
Okay. So next story.
Sure.
Yeah, we're
But
on,
anyway, supposedly, all I know is Jeff Bridges was like, "Yeah, I hope we figure out some lines of dialogue." Anyway, next story.
So the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 trailer dropped
Hey,
moments ago.
mere moments ago. Hey, there's a thing we could talk about a little bit.
Yeah, what do we think of it?
Hot off the presses.
So cute. So cute.
Groot.
What what's
I hate that it was so cute.
Yeah,
and that I fell for it, the cuteness.
what is incredible and unbelievable to me is that Baby Groot is not the funniest thing in this trailer.
No.
It's Dave Bautista as
Yes.
Drax.
You know what's the funniest thing in the trailer is never Star-Lord. Like, you know what I
No.
mean? It's always the raccoon, it's the tree, or it's the
What-
living tree known as
Star-Lord.
Batista.
Star-Lord's more of a wry straight man.
Yeah.
He's the Jerry.
No, no.
He's
What's going on this
and
ship?
We've got Kramer and George and Elaine
There
running
you
all
go.
around.
There you go. Elaine is Groot. I'm just going to say it
He's
now.
Bud Abbott.
Yeah.
Elaine is Groot. She's looking for a big salad. All right.
Had to have the big salad. Oh, don't start.
but yeah.
Dom's in the chat.
Dom's in the chat. Hello, Dominic Dory. But yeah, Dom, we just watched the new trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy. I can only mush mouth that a little bit more. Gardens of the Galaxy.
And we
Well, that's not inappropriate.
Yeah.
There is a tree involved.
That's true.
and we still didn't learn that much about the movie, which I
No.
think is a
No.
good thing.
Yes.
Yes, thank you guys for putting out a trailer. It doesn't give away everything.
Yeah.
And it's just something that says, hey, you're going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like, here's everything you loved about the first one.
Yeah, like I was gonna see Allied this weekend, and then I saw the trailer and realized I didn't have to.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
Thank you, Robert Zemeckis.
What did I see? I saw somebody on Twitter was like, yeah, Allied, a boring version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Like, who wants a period drama, boring version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Who wants to see that? But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy looks really good. You know, just a little bit. It's mostly Rocket and Groot having a scene, but it's so funny and it's so cute.
Yeah. You're going to want to bring your kids to this movie. You're going to want to bring grandma.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Grandma.
No, I think it's going to be something that everybody's going to be
Oh,
able
no,
to enjoy.
yeah. It's following the same suit
Yeah,
of the first one, man.
yeah,
It's just,
absolutely.
it's good roundabout fun, man.
And I think sometimes a good trailer leaves you with more questions than answers.
And that's good.
Yeah. Marvel should make this movie for the next 100 years.
Just get this. Just keep this one
Just keep
going.
finding 3, 4, 5, 27,
This is
1
a lock.
million and 8.
This one's a lock.
Yeah, just keep repeating this pattern.
You've got this one locked up. You figured this the secret out for this one.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever going to really get bored with it.
No. But yeah, that looks good. All right, so what else then, buddy? We got something else in there? I think we got some more stuff.
Yeah, Facebook. They've you know how sometimes they have games on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, now you can play classic video games like Galaga and Pac-Man.
Just Facebook. Stop trying. Be content. I don't know.
Yeah, it's instant games. It's a closed beta right now, but they're thinking of releasing it. There's 17 games.
I guess nobody's playing Zombie Plant War or anymore.
We got Pac-Man, Galaga, Space Invaders. Oh, there's also Words with Friends.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I was just gonna make a Words with Friends joke. Basically, Words with Friends is just dying off.
Yeah,
no one's playing that anymore
because they want you to be on Facebook all the time. So
well,
that's
Facebook's
how they keep you here.
Facebook wants, like every other big conglomerate type site, wants to be the hub via which you go do everything else.
Yeah.
Somehow you will do it all here.
Remember back in the 90s?
Bullshit.
So much so now you can make cell phone calls
Yeah.
and text messages in Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Everything had to be a portal.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
was-
the idea. It's it's a hub. They used to fool you in thinking no, AOL. That's it. This is the internet.
Yes.
There's nothing beyond AOL. No. Don't type anything into that bar. No, Mom, listen. This bar up top above the AOL bar.
Yeah.
That's where you go. If you know what the website is you want to go to,
Yeah.
you type it in there. Like a .com. Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
And
that's where you put it.
That's what she said. How do you spell mahjong?
Yeah, that's all. Just need my game, and that's it. A little bejeweled, and I'm good. All right, but I think is that gonna wrap us up?
Well,
we got one more on the other.
One more story.
Oh, geez, this kid again.
It's another Harry Potter story. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Why they call him Harry? He should just shave already.
It's a play going on in London, which is meant to be a sequel to the books, written by J.K. Rowling.
Yeah,
So it's coming to Broadway.
I want J.K. to do something else. I want her to just.
Well, she tried. She did those detective stories under a pseudonym, and then people found her out.
Yeah, but I feel like she needs to do something else, which is upfront. Here's my next thing. I'm not a one-trick pony. Even if she fails at it, she'll always have the Harry Potter stuff to go back to. But she should take another swing for the fences.
she did. She has this group of mystery novels that she's writing.
Okay, that's just that's where she's at. That's going to be the thing.
Yeah, I mean, she has this play. She has 5 Fantastic Beasts movies she's writing.
That's true. So Harry Potter the musical, a lot of songs about Muggles.
Yeah.
Trying to find stuff that rhymes with Muggles.
No, it's not a musical.
Well, then if it's not a musical, it's no purpose then.
It's a play.
Don't you understand? No one watches plays.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Has he moved out from underneath the staircase, or has he moved the whole family that he's got now, and they live under the staircase at his parents' house still? Mom and Dad, times are tough. We have to move back in.
Oh no, the Dursleys are gone.
Are they dead?
No, I don't think they're dead.
Oh,
but
then who cares then? I thought that was the thing with Harry Potter. Eventually he grows up to the point in the last movie and book where everybody can start dying finally. They just start killing everybody off.
Yep.
No? Okay. I guess I missed something. Well, kids, one of the things we do here, a new segment, it's got popular demand. Everybody loves it. Everybody, Ed.
The DCTV report.
To understand what I'm about to tell you, you need to do something first. You need to believe in the impossible. Can you do that?
Can you do that, Ed?
Welcome to DCTV report for the week ending in December 3rd, 2016. I'm Edward O'Hare, nickname to be determined. There will be commentary from Bill Sweeney and brother Bob Sweeney.
We're gonna do something next week with this open. But go ahead.
Okay. So starting off this week, on Monday, November 28th, we had your usual triple threat.
Yeah.
Kicking off with Gotham. And Gotham, Gordon became suspicious that Mario is infected with Tetch virus.
It's a Mario.
Which we learned last
Luigi's
week.
brother.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Well, Luigi had the vaccine, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Mario found a way to cheat the test for Tetch. Gordon tried to crash Mario and Lee's wedding, but Lee gave him the shame on you, and Carmine gave him the bum's rush.
And Luigi came up behind him and slit his throat.
There you go. Hit him with a turtle shell.
Barb suggested to Ed that Oswald killed Isabella. Ed gave Oswald the I love you, but not like that test, and little penguin boy failed miserably. So Ed is now plotting with Butch, Barb, and Tabitha to take Oswald down.
He's got was that what put him over the line? That
Yeah.
he's got some kind of man crush?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Barb's like, he killed her. It's because he
well,
really loves
okay,
you.
right.
He's
Just
he doesn't like me like that, and then
Yeah.
he did the...
Oh, okay. Oh, God, this show. All right, what else on that?
Alfred, Bruce, and Selena attempted to break into a Court of Owls vault.
Right.
Talon showed up and killed everyone but our heroes before being stopped by a mysterious figure.
Yeah, I mean, so excited until you said, except our heroes.
Yes.
You know, when you said everyone, I was like, everyone? I turned to Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
go on.
So he was stopped by a mysterious figure.
Oh,
Last minute reveal,
yeah?
the mysterious figure is Selena's mom.
OMG.
That's crazy.
Now on to Lucifer.
Lucifer.
So last week,
Lucy.
Charlotte was about to kill Chloe with the bomb.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well,
right, yeah.
Amenadiel showed up.
Who?
Gesundheit.
Lucifer's
brother.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And convinced Charlotte not to kill Chloe.
Okay.
Okay? The trial for Chloe's dad's murderer began.
Oh, my God, I hate when that happens.
But the key witness, a Russian mobster, was decapitated.
The Russian mobster. Did he talk like this? Did he talk like every Russian mobster in every movie and video game?
Yeah, he did.
Listen, we're going to defuse the bomb, and then we kill everyone.
Well, actually, they just killed him.
I am dead now, but here are all the codes for the missiles.
Yeah, his head was delivered to the police department.
But still talking inside of box.
Yes. So anyway,
Very
the
good, continue.
murder trial was beginning, and Charlotte was the defense attorney.
What?
And evidently...
Charlotte from Westworld?
No, Charlotte,
okay, sorry.
Lucifer's mom.
I'm getting my shows mixed up. Go ahead.
Evidently, Dan slept with Charlotte
Oh,
and,
Dan!
unknowingly spilt the beans about the case. He
Dan!
felt really bad about it.
Got to keep these things a secret.
I'm so disappointed.
Lucifer tried testifying because he figured that would be the big fix.
Right.
And it backfired.
Yeah, I saw that in the commercial.
Oh, you couldn't lie well, I understand.
Yeah, no. The murderer got off, but Dan and Mays sold him out to the Russian mob, so it all worked out.
You sold him off to Russian mob. Very nice. He's good.
Amenadiel met Penelope, Chloe's mom, for the first time, and they had a nice chat.
Oh, good. It's great.
Yeah. Last minute reveal.
Come on.
Amenadiel recognized Penelope as a woman God sent him to bless with a child years ago. That child is Chloe.
All right. I just don't follow this show enough to fucking know or care what's going on. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So Chloe is the woman that the detective that Lucifer sticks around Earth to be with.
Oh, okay, that's
and
his
now
little
we
crush.
realize that she was a gift from God, and now and Charlotte and Amenadiel are going to try to use that against Lucifer.
So is she a real person?
Evidently, she's a real person, but
she was created by God just as a gift to...
Yes, to this couple, to Penelope and her husband.
She's a kid?
No, she was gifted 30 years ago.
Oh, as a baby.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
God was like, I like you too. He has a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't know he did that. That's a good guy.
Yeah.
Is anybody playing God yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay, so now on to Supergirl. This is what everyone's really excited about. I know. This is the start of it. All right, so...
Yeah.
A mysterious portal appeared and disappeared during Thanksgiving dinner.
And nothing else matters.
Cyborg Superman unleashed a virus at a bar, killing every alien in the joint except Mon-El, who got really sick.
Here's what I'll say about Cyborg Superman. I hope I'm not giving it away, but looked really corny. Like when I saw him the week before this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's the deal, just the freaking piece of scrap metal on his face, and then they knock it off, and then underneath that is like what I wanted to see on him, which was like some real mech looking things peeking out from his skin, as opposed to this, cast iron fucking piece of scrap metal bolted onto his face.
The only thing they really haven't explained about that character is why he's calling himself Cyborg Superman and yet does not wear a Superman costume.
Yeah, real not helping. It's just to remind people who know the
It's
comic.
like-
It's like,
Well, they can't call him just Cyborg because
well,
there's
that's
another
that's
character.
it. And they just can't call him Henshaw because that doesn't sound interesting or cool.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? It sounds cooler than Cyborg Superman. Henshaw! All right, I can deal with that. Let's just call him Henshaw. Go on.
Okay, Kara learned her dad invented the virus as a weapon against invaders.
Way to go, Dick.
Lillian and Cadmus planned to steal an isotope from Luthor Corp and disperse the virus all over the world.
Of course.
Kara tried to warn Lena, but
Yeah.
she pulled a, "You can't tell me my whole family's evil,"
Right, yeah, I saw
and
that.
teamed up with Mom to release the virus.
Yep,
John went full white Martian and defeated Cyborg Superman.
that's racist.
Kara failed to stop the alien killer rocket, but it didn't matter because Lena went all, "You can't control me, Mom!"
A lot of whining
and destroyed the virus.
Okay, yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, Eliza, Kara and Alex's mom, cured Mon-El and turned John back into a green Martian. Last minute reveal, the portal opened back up and the Flash and Vibe asked for Kara's help fighting aliens on their Earth.
All right, we'll start the discussion about this fucking 4-part crossover right here where it actually starts. All right.
Yeah.
Like, real wasted opportunity with Supergirl, I feel like, for the crossover.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm not sure what else they could have done because she's so
start the
tangential.
crossover. No, start
Yeah.
the crossover half an hour early.
Yeah.
Like, the whole story took... Is your microphone off? Did you hit the button on the mic? Maybe because when it fell before? Yeah, there you go. Now you're back.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Myself.
Hey.
What were you saying?
We'll just start it with Supergirl because she's an alien and her show deals with aliens. So just start with the aliens on her show.
I feel like you don't even have to, like, do too much. Well, you could have. They should
Yeah.
have. Or use her technology to do some research
Start
there. Get
the
some
story
info.
there instead of just make that episode
Yeah.
a way of just like connecting it to the next three.
I feel like they did nothing special to try and keep anybody there, which is fine because I was saying this during the week. They're like, yeah, to do anything like that's outside of the norm for that show would be a misdirect or a lie to people who are new viewers.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't get whatever they saw that night again. But like to wait to the dead, literal last minute,
It felt like a cheat.
it felt like a little bit of a cheat. And
Yeah, you know what I thought?
Just a waste.
Just now they could have. They could have just tried opening portals wherever she was in town throughout the episode.
well, that's kind of what they did.
Well, they only did one in the beginning and one at the end.
There was one in the middle.
And there was one in the middle?
Yeah, but it's so fast, like you wouldn't notice, and no reaction from anybody. That was
Notice
like,
I didn't mention it.
yeah, exactly. It served no purpose. It was just a way to remind audiences that something's coming. Like don't fall asleep yet, newbies. Like Flash is coming.
You know what it felt like? It felt like that episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where Kelsey Grammer was the guest star, and they had that in all the promos, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, let's go see Frasier on Star Trek," and all the Cheers fans showed up, and then
That might be the
doesn't
worst
show up
sentence I've ever
until
heard.
the last 30 seconds, and he has like 2 lines,
That's like the worst phrase I ever heard.
And all the
Let's go
Cheers
see
fan-
Frasier on Star Trek.
and then all the Cheers fans went, "Fuck this show."
Right, exactly. But that's kind of like what I felt. I feel like I wasted my time, and not because like, hey, it wasn't good on its own. I feel like it was just like, if we're coming here for a specific thing, and then once you see like where the storyline starts on Flash, like I was saying this to you on a night of Flash, like they could have started what happens here on Supergirl.
Right.
Yeah.
Could have started halfway through Supergirl's episode, but instead they wanted to do all this storyline movement on her show that like wasn't enticing enough where it was like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to know more about that storyline. I think that was their idea. Like, oh, show some progression in the stories at that time will maybe become appealing to new viewers. But I feel like none of those things landed that well like that. Like I just didn't care about anything that was going on there. Sorry. I like her. I like Supergirl. I like the way they play her. I like her quirkiness and stuff like that. But everything around her just doesn't appeal to me. You know? I don't know.
I think the show is a very female-centric show. It's just
Yeah.
the main character, and that's fine. So it's not going to appeal to people like you and I so much.
Yeah, and I don't even feel like that's the case necessarily. 'Cause that it's that stuff, because I've watched other shows where that stuff is just done better, and it does pull me in. Like you know what I mean? Like if on a female-centric show, I've been pulled into female-centric shows before. They just
Yeah, that's true.
You
I've
know what I
watched
mean?
Scandal and
Yeah,
Grey's
I mean some
Anatomy and
shows
stuff
just
like
are just they're written a little better. You know what I mean?
that.
But
Yeah,
I
guess
think
you're right.
Yeah, I think just Supergirl, because it's set on a different Earth, it has a very tangential feel to the other 3 shows.
yeah,
It doesn't blend, because they don't share any because basically every show on every character on Legends of Tomorrow started in either Flash or Arrow, so there's a
Yeah.
lot of connective tissue there.
yeah, it's an easy in. It's an easy inroad. All right, let's jump over to Flash then.
So on Tuesday night we had Flash. A spaceship crash lands in Central City, and Barry discovers an alien race called the Dominators are planning an invasion.
oh my God.
Lila gives Barry the down low, and then the "we got this." Barry ignores her and puts together a superhero coalition including Team Arrow, Team Flash, The Legends, and Supergirl. Barry hosts a meet and greet in an old hangar. Supergirl trains everyone by beating the crap out of them. Dr. Stein and Jax told Barry about the message he will leave them in the future, and Barry came clean to everybody about Flashpoint and the changes that he caused.
Yeah. Forcing him. Like totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. A lot of unnecessary bullshit in these shows where it was like so set up just to set up the next scene. And like, we had this fake bullshit scene where Barry's forced to tell everybody about what happened so that Oliver can stay behind with Barry so that when the cool scene happens, they're not with the other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, but it felt forced from the jump. Like, you know what I mean? So you knew, well, I knew anyway, that it was all trying to set up some other cool scene that they thought of first.
But that's a really cool scene.
I don't care. Like, you're just reverse engineering, and then when you fucking get to those scenes that set up the scene that you thought of first, they usually suck. They usually don't feel quite right.
Because they're forced.
Yeah.
And they're written backwards.
Yeah.
No, but I think you had some interesting character moments of Diggle finding out he had a daughter, not a son. I think that was...
and that is cool. And I mean, and that's stuff that we wanted to see happen. Don't get me wrong. And that shit was good. But in the end, it was all about, at the commercial break, it was like, oh, well, now why did Flash and Arrow have to stay behind?
Right. There was some stuff that always seemed pointless.
Okay.
It always seems story-serving for some other thing. Go ahead.
Okay, so... Dr. Stein realized the girl he's been having visions about is his daughter.
Pervo.
The Dominators kidnapped the president.
Yeah.
Everyone except Barry and Arrow went after them, ended up getting mind-controlled and attacked Star Labs.
Yeah.
Wally tried to jump in the fight and immediately got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Barry tricked Supergirl in destroying the mind control thingy. Last minute reveal, White Canary, Atom, Spartan, Speedy, and Arrow are transported to the Dominator ship and are being held hostage.
OMG.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all right. Just keep going. Just keep going. Flash was a better episode. I think it was probably the best episode out of all of them. Just because...
because you and I don't watch Arrow, which is the next day's show.
So some of the stuff in Arrow was a little bit didn't mean as much to me, but
well, Arrow was Arrow-centric because it was also doubling as Arrow's 100th episode.
Yeah, so it wanted to touch base on some story stuff to celebrate that. But go ahead, continue.
Okay, so Wednesday night, we had Arrow. Oliver and the other heroes captured last episode of The Flash were plugged into a dream world where all his friends and family were still alive.
So for the next 45 minutes, none of this matters. Continue.
Exactly.
Oliver was engaged to Laurel, and their wedding was imminent.
Ooh.
Diggle was the hood.
Yeah.
Back on Earth...
Diggle got to be cool for like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Finally.
Yeah. Well, he wears the Arrow costume like once a season.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
like,
They pity
either
him.
he's a decoy or something else.
Yeah, some Waymo thing.
Okay, so anyway, back on Earth, Cisco touched Oliver's first bow and vibed the captives on the mothership. Supergirl, Flash, Mr. Terrific, and a reluctant Wild Dog went to a warehouse and took down Cyberwoman to get some tech they need to fight the Dominators.
There you go.
Didn't really need that tech, but it was a cool fight scene.
Yeah, but it was one of these things where it's like, oh my God, just like, it's telegraphing so much. It's like, okay, we got to spend this whole episode getting that tech so they can stay in the dream world, so we can watch them all chase some dream versions of everybody who died. Okay.
Oliver rounded up the crew and convinced them this world wasn't real.
Yeah.
Thea didn't want to leave, but changed her mind 2 minutes later.
Yeah, can we stop there for a second?
Did they take the blue pill?
They made this long... See, this is the thing that drives me crazy. It drives me crazy about these things. Like, they want to have this scene of her and him having this heart-to-heart talk, and where she goes, no, but I want to stay, I want to stay here. And he's like, it's fucking fake. It's fake. It's phony baloney.
It's not real.
Like, he doesn't even... Like, I would grab her by the hand and be like, we're going. We can't go without you.
See, this is where you see the difference between Green Arrow and Batman. Because if
Yes,
this
we
was
talked about, yes.
Bruce Wayne would have just grabbed a gun and shot his parents in the head and went to her and said, "See, they're not real.
They're clay. Look at them." You know what I mean? Like, it just would have moved on, dragged her out. Probably wouldn't even asked her anything. Just bound her up and then put her over his shoulder.
To avoid
and
the
took her.
argument, shot mom and dad as he walked in the room.
Yeah, you know, and just been done with it. So we get the scene where she's got to, you know, he leaves her behind, basically. All right, I guess if you want to stay in this dream world, I'm okay with that, which is like bullshit, not your character, but whatever. And then, like, so cut to the next scene, them all outside getting ready for this big fight with more fake versions of now bad guys. But she comes out like, and then like the big reveal on why she came out, I felt like it. Like, I changed my mind.
Yeah, that was a letdown.
I thought at the very least
there
we would get
was
something.
some deleted scene they had to cut out.
Yeah,
with,
that's
like,
kind of like I'm hoping for, where
Yeah.
like the parents did something weird and awkward, maybe started glitching, or tried to, like, you know, do something evil with her.
Yeah.
But none of that. She just kind of comes out like, just changed my mind. That's the kind of girl I am. I just changed my mind a whim. Like, could you?
Okay,
whatever.
so vision.
Try harder.
Basically, visions of every previous big baddie showed up for a battle royale.
Yeah.
The group,
Which didn't even have to happen.
Yeah.
No, because if now they know that everything is a dream, all they got to do is, okay, you guys don't exist, so you can't hurt us.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's what I don't get. Like, it's another one of these things where, like, they don't follow their own logic in a way. Like, you know, I'm sorry that I'm thinking
It's
too
just like-
hard.
Yeah, it's just like I think of the Star Trek episode in the OK Corral where Spock just like gets everybody's mind right in the right place where nothing is. They know for sure nothing is real, and then the bullets go right through them.
Well, also, you know, Oliver got to have that one heart-to-heart as he's leaving. He says goodbye to Laurel.
But it's another heart-to-heart he doesn't have to have.
Yeah.
And it's not even him.
Right.
Somebody else has a heart-to-heart with somebody else, too. I think it was
What's his name?
Thea.
White Canary.
White Canary has a heart-to-heart with somebody.
With Laurel.
And I'm waiting for Oliver, because she goes first. I'm waiting for Oliver to be like, let's just go. They're fake. Like, to drag her out. But then, no, he wants to have a heart-to-heart with her, too. Like I just have this place in my heart
So he's
or
just, like,
something,
standing there.
you know, and just pouring out my feelings because the CW logo is in the bottom corner of the screen right now.
It's an emotional release.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, too. It's like, that's what the writers would put it to.
Yeah.
Like, it was cathartic or some shit. And I'm like, no, cathartic probably would have been
Because
putting a
you're on
bullet.
the CW.
Cathartic would have been putting a bullet in her head and being like, all right, that closes things up.
Anyway, the group one woke up, escaped the ship, and were picked up by the Wave Rider.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Wave Rider.
Last minute reveal. Gideon provided a loose translation of something Adam heard a Dominator say before they escaped. We are nearing completion of the weapon.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Anyway, okay, on to the next
Which,
one.
if you've seen Arrival, could mean Tool.
Yeah. which, right, that's what I said to you afterwards, right?
All right, so
You're going by Arrival rules.
on to Thursday and DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
I only got one music track, folks. We're going to be using it over and over.
Oh, yeah. Felicity and Cisco joined Steel, Heatwave, and Vixen on a trip to 1951 when the Dominators first appeared on Earth.
Because we have to have a ye olde time era component to this show.
Have you watched this show, bro? It's you got to go somewhere.
That's what I mean.
You got to go
That's what I mean.
sometime.
I felt like it was another forced fucking thing. Like, break your
Instead of-
fucking mold.
right, instead of just following where everyone left off in the previous show, they have to come up with a reason to go back in time.
But here's the thing. The reason to go back in time is so they can kidnap one of these aliens and find out something about the plan that's going on presently. Not go back a week ago or 2 days ago when the aliens first landed in Flash and ask one of them who would know about the current plan right now. Why would an alien from 1951 conceivably have the answers you need?
You don't know how they perceive time and space.
Again, that's
65
Arrival.
years. They mentioned in the show.
Yeah.
It's a 65-year difference in time.
Yeah, so that's my problem out the jump. Like, because the show has to go into a time period, we have to do the whole Roswell-ish kind of thing.
Okay.
Whatever.
No, it was Redmond.
No, I know. Well, ish. Emphasis on the ish.
Anyway, so they went back to
No,
1951.
Oregon, not Ish.
The nerds stayed on board while the heroes went alien hunting.
Right.
They snagged a captive, but ended up getting taken in by the feds.
Oh, the feds. Yes.
In 2016, Agent Smith, yes, that is his name, lectured everybody about how the Dominators want to destroy metahumans because Barry unknowingly broke a truce humans made with them in the 50s.
Stupid.
They'll leave if Barry surrenders to them. Dr. Stein is forced to work with his newly discovered daughter and slowly comes to the conclusion that he doesn't want to erase her from existence.
Oh, good job.
Felicity and Cisco broke the captives out, and Steele convinced Cisco to free the Dominator as well.
Clarification on Stein. His wife, like, he had nobody.
No, he had a wife.
He had a wife.
Yeah,
now, the
so
wife is gone,
basically
and now there's a kid he didn't have.
A couple episodes ago, he had a... they ran into...
I don't need all that. I just need this
okay.
question.
Yeah.
Had a wife? Had a wife?
Yes.
Now she's dead, and he's got a kid he never had.
No, the wife is still alive. We just haven't seen her yet.
Fair enough.
No, but their relationship was previously frigid.
Yeah. Well, no.
More or less.
He was consumed with work and had a conversation with his younger self, and now he has a kid.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Fine. We could do all that, too.
Okay, so...
Meanwhile...
Felicity and Cisco broke the captives out and still convinced them. Okay. When they get back, Cisco made contact with the Dominator they freed, who basically told him, fuck all y'all. Barry decided to turn himself in, and everyone said, fuck that noise. What followed was an incredible battle sequence that I believe could rival any Marvel movie.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I said it.
Oh, wait. On an episode of Legends of Tomorrow, did Barry need another pep talk?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Just want to make sure.
of
Anywhere
course.
he goes, any show he's on, people are going to have to rally around him and convince him, no, you're doing the right thing, Barry.
It's the CW.
If we're not talking about emotions of love, we're talking about emotions of choice.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Someone's got to stroke his ego.
I guess.
He's a millennial.
Oh, stop with that. That's bullshit. Old people love love, too.
Okay, so yeah. There was
All right.
It was incredible battle sequence.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Incredible.
I loved it.
No, but it was pretty good. I mean, considering limitations of TV and all that, it was pretty good. There's a lot of good elements. I'm giving everything else a hard time.
Yes,
But there was a lot of good
yes.
stuff.
You gripe because you love Bill. Be honest.
Because I love the medium,
Yes.
and I wish people would try harder. Yeah, that's what it is, though. That's
Okay.
actually what it really is.
The heroes came out on top, got honored by the president, had a bunch of heart-to-hearts. Last minute reveal? No real reveal. Just,
Yeah, because the thing's over.
Flash and Green Arrow sharing a drink.
Yeah. Fucking silly.
That's the DCTV
Silly.
report.
Hey, man, I dug it. You know, and, it was good. It was good enough for what it is that I hope the next one is better.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I was telling Bill while we were watching this whole 4 hour or 3 hours and 2 minutes thing that if they were just to make a separate story and have like a 4 hour movie one night,
yeah.
Because why not? People binge TV now, so just take a night. Make it a Friday night even, so that they don't have to even ruin the regular cycle of episodes.
Well, you know what? I mean, if this was back in the 90s, they would just release these 3 episodes on one VHS. They would,
They would make some
do that.
movie, quote unquote, out of it. That's true.
'Cause it would
That's
be
true.
it would be about 2 hours 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, you would. That's because there was no other outlet really for TV
Yeah.
shows to be reconsumed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Except for that. But I did feel like it would be nice if they didn't do like a straight movie blocks. That if they did do this again, they would actually focus on the story at hand and push all the storyline stuff as far back as possible, so that we could actually not be so compressed of time to focus to this crossover. I feel like the crossover should have been a thing. Obviously, they were all ridiculously outnumbered. There was a lot of stretch with that. Supergirl was the only one you probably would have really needed in a world like this to take on everybody physically anyway.
Well,
But-
evidently the Dominators are going to show up on Supergirl later in the year.
Oh, well, I mean, she won't need anybody though, right? Because that's how that's going to go, where like she'll just take care of them by herself that week. Because she's so badass, which she really is. Like, I mean, like literally. Like,
Yeah.
she's got the power set. Everybody else has got toys.
And that's kind of why she's on Another Earth, because like that training sequence, she just shows up and just like no, like there's
Right,
nothing.
you're right. We were goofing on that too.
yeah,
She was hovering, and they were throwing everything at her, and she's just like, "Yeah, ding, 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 ding," just knocking it all
how are
away.
you going to learn anything fighting her?
Yeah, how are you gonna learn how to lose? All right, 7,000 ways to lose.
I know how to get my ass kicked in 27 different ways.
I almost wish she'd brought you on with her. That was the one thing. Like if they had Martian Manhunter in this too, it would have been interesting.
Well, that's what we were saying too. Like, there's a missed opportunity. There's another guy you could use, but was the budget that constrained? Where it's like he changes shapes and stuff too.
Well, I mean, you could tell there was because there were certain because like Vixen and Steel were not in the Flash episode,
right.
and also the young Arrow newbies were not on the Flash episode either. So like they had to kind of coordinate like who they could afford to have in which episodes. And you notice like the cast were much scaled down. Like the only person from Supergirl they could afford to stick in there was probably Supergirl.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Martin Manhunter, Gina, like who else would you need from her show anyway? You know what I mean? But
Guardian, I don't know.
But so that wraps up the DCTV report.
Yeah,
that was a good one. Good time had by all. Kids are enjoying it. Let us know. Let us know in the chat. Let us know in emails.
And I mean, next week's a round of mid-season finales, so it might start getting a little light for a little while. Yeah. This is a segment that will come and go, or change its size and shape,
It's
much
gonna
like
ebb and
Martian
flow with
Manhunter.
the season of the show.
Absolutely. All right, so now is the time, kids, for pitch versus pitch.
Pitch versus pitch.
Yeah. I'm just going to use this music rather than do anything too crazy. And Bob's going to use that music. So, yeah, pitch versus pitch. Last week, Bob gave out the title.
Yeah, so
Which was, Bob?
The end of was it the end of the beginning? Or
No, it was the beginning of the end.
Beginning of the end. And so he's...
beginning of the end.
So he's playing movie exec, basically, is how this goes. Whoever gives out the movie title, the other two people go back home and make up their own pitch for what this movie could be, what this movie should be, who's in it, who's directing it, and what it's all about. So
I'm going to be here listening to you guys, and you guys is going to pitch to me what you guys got in your head there.
That's right. That's right there, Bobo. Ed, are you ready? Do you want to go first? Do you want to pass?
I can go first.
All right, let's do you then, I guess.
Okay, so mine is this is a classic comedy.
Okay, classic comedy.
Yes,
Okay.
a classic style romantic comedy.
Oh.
But R-rated.
Okay.
All right. So the basic story: Simon is a shy, insecure doctor who's finally found the love of his life in Monique. And the one thing that he's worried about is the same thing he's worried about with every girlfriend he's had in the past, is when they meet his best friend, Ron, who is a firefighter.
Right.
And a very charming, eccentric guy.
Okay.
And every time he's met one of Simon's girlfriends, they've fallen in love with him, and it's been the beginning of the end of of Simon's relationship.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So,
Gotcha.
Simon and Monique are engaged.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, they get a knock on the door, and Ron has just gotten divorced and needs a place to stay for a while.
Okay.
He's just gotten divorced from Simon's last girlfriend, Anna.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh,
and
wow.
and what follows is a comedy of errors
Right.
of Ron trying to put him in situations where Simon can look good.
I got you.
somehow steals the thunder.
No matter what happens.
What happens? Someone gets a heart attack, and
Right.
Simon ends up performing CPR. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Ron performing
yeah, okay.
CPR. There's a whole bit where they go skiing,
Okay.
and Simon ends up breaking his leg.
Sure. This is very 80s comedy.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Let me not interject too much.
Really fun hijinks, and it all ends with a showdown with Anna.
That's the ex-wife?
Yeah, Ron's ex-wife, who we find out has divorced because she discovered that she was really in love with Simon and is trying to kill Monique to win Simon's affections.
Okay.
Now, the cast. This movie is directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
Okay.
Starring Thomas Middleditch from Silicon Valley as Simon.
All right, that works for me.
Channing Tatum
Yes,
as
obviously.
Ron.
Perfect.
Zoe Saldana, Uhura from Star Trek as Monique, and Ronda Rousey as Anna.
Right,
Ronda
because
Rousey.
she's going to be the crazy one who wants to beat her up or kill her, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you. All right.
All right. Not bad.
All right.
Not bad, Ed.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so here's mine. Also a comedy, more in the modern comedy kind of sense. The beginning of the end. The year is 3016 is where we start in the future, right? Earth is a week away from the end of days, basically. Massive tectonic shifts that are going to wipe out all the life on Earth. The ocean levels now at this point have already kind of risen, and it's kind of consolidated most humans onto about 4 continents, right? And it's pushed even some people to the moon. This is about 1,000 years from now, you know? So this era, though, is also recently kind of rediscovered in 21st century pop culture, and it's become like enthralled with this pseudo-nostalgia where everyone's very obsessed with it. So now, meanwhile, up in heaven, where life is basically like this super chill party that never ends, God, who's this glowing androgynous figure voiced by Billy West, he's bummed, and he's watching this, impending doom on Earth on a loop. Like, he's just kind of like at this party, and he's like, no fun right now, But keep in mind, it's 1,000 years from now, so heaven's filled with a lot of people from right now, right? So basically, George Clooney, Dave Chappelle, and Gandhi wander over to God, and they're like, yo, what's the matter? Like, why are you so bummed out and shit? And so he ends up showing them the video on a loop, and they're like, oh, man, that's crazy. And they kind of end up convincing God to, like, intervene, to help. But he can't, because it's one of those silly rules he set up that, he can't really get involved directly like that.
Oh, he's got a prime directive?
Yeah, but they can. So they convince God to send a team down to Earth of celebrities and scientists with just about a month until the end of days hits to help try and figure out a way to get as many humans as possible up to the moon. Mm-hmm. All right. So basically it's going to end up being a rush job on 4 giant space arcs. Okay. But the idea is that whenever possible, celebrities play versions of themselves, or you get people to play these historical figures. So basically, it's like it's constant who's who of who gets sent down to help. So it's like George Clooney, Dave Chappelle, Gandhi, Albert Einstein, Danny McBride, Seth Rogen, Carrot Top, Stephen Hawking, some guy named Paul, like on and on and on. Like, you know what I mean? And so hilarity ensues from there. You basically got to think of it like This Is the End meets Bill and Ted meets 2012. So it's like disaster flick, hijinks, high-pressure comedy, directed by James Gunn, and basically just starring like anybody we can get to be in it because of the idea that all these people are already dead. Mm-hmm. So, the idea of like the This Is the End type setup where they all kind of maybe poke fun at each other a little bit and also get to give each other a hard time when they're down on Earth trying to help people. But outside of having like one straight kind of like George Clooney or Matt Damon kind of guy as the lead, but he's constantly like a fuck up as much as Seth Rogen or any of these other clowns.
So the one aspect of this movie that you've neglected to say is that it's got a Cannonball Run style of casting.
Well, yeah. Well, there you go. It reminded me of that too.
Sensibility and everything taking place in space and
it's like this who's who.
Is this going to be kind of a Mel Brooks inspired kind of thing? I mean,
yeah, I could fit that too.
It sounds like it could end up being very expensive.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely a thing where like it's got to be somebody kind of like but somebody on convincing all these people to do it.
But Ed, what was your inspiration now for this movie? What kind of thing, other movies that we all know of, would have been inspirations for this movie?
Well, I think it's definitely one of those. It's like a buddy story,
right?
Like those kind of. There's also kind of like a road trip aspect to it. Right. I like the idea of these two people, kind of like a Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Two people who don't really fit together but end up being best friends.
Right. Sure.
But also like a whole thing for the Ronda Rousey thing is the Carrie Fisher storyline in Blues Brothers.
Right, but what I mean is like, is it like when Harry Met Sally meets so and so? Like,
you want that breakdown? Yeah, no, it's kind of like a think of it as like when Harry Met Sally meets like Neighbors. Kind of like that, that kind of like R-rated old school vibe to it,
right?
And really just those kinds of like raunchy Todd Phillips kind of comedies.
What's a Todd Phillips film for anybody who
Old
doesn't-
school, Hangover.
Okay, just for anybody who wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Well, that doesn't sound to me to be as expensive a movie to make as your movie.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
So, I think both movies would end up making money. My only concern would be with Bill's movie that some of the humor might be missed.
Okay. Fair enough. I guess. Yeah, sure. You're the studio exec, so it's all you.
So, right. So, that's just by going by my gut based on what I'm hearing.
Fair enough.
So, I think in the end, Bill, I would have to make Ed's movie.
Hey.
And put yours on the back burner.
Ed gets a bell. I
But
got
not-
nothing for losers.
But
I got no sound for losers.
I wouldn't necessarily count yours out for production later on, though.
All right, fair enough. Maybe we just need to retool the script, as they say.
A little bit, yeah.
You know?
There's a lot to it.
Yeah. Maybe it needs to. We need to work on the third act or something like that, as
Yeah,
they say.
It takes place in a lot of, like, there's space, there's 2016, 3016.
Yeah,
all
that's
those
true.
celebrities.
Yeah.
You know, such a diverse, you're in heaven. You're
Well,
in
keep in
space,
mind,
you're
all
on
we see
Earth.
of heaven
You're in
is
Earth
like
3016, you're on Earth 2016. It's a very
no, just
expensive-
3016. Just 2016.
Yeah.
Those people all in heaven. Just picture heaven like no overcomplicated thing. It's basically a warehouse with a lot of. It's like a rave. It's like a rave, like that's just going, and like some people are just
world's
tired.
largest airplane
I was
hangar.
thinking in my head like some people like are tired of the party. It's like, is there anywhere else to go? Like, and they're like, why? Don't you hear? Like, I was thinking in my head like everybody would hear their own favorite music playing at that club.
Right.
Like, so you're bopping to one beat, and the other guy is
Right,
like doing
right.
some other
One
thing
guy
to
comes up
another
to you, all of a
room.
sudden you hear Justin Bieber in his head.
You know, why? We cut to like one person's viewpoint. Like, what do you hear? And each person hears something more ridiculous
Right.
than the next.
Maybe go to a first-person view.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing. But,
yeah, mine was kind of like an R-rated Katherine Heigl movie without Katherine Heigl, so it would be.
Yeah, I was thinking more along like Meg Ryan, but
Yeah.
that's a little old school.
hey, Katherine Heigl was the new Meg Ryan for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, so she screwed it up.
That's it. So, congratulations, Ed. You are
thank
the you take it this round.
And Bill, I believe it's your turn to pick the title for next week.
Throughout the
Yes.
movie, I debated on this. I thought it might be fun. It might be funny. It's obviously it is what it is. What I would love for you two to pitch to me next week
Okay.
is the Wicked Theory podcast, the movie.
Okay.
The Wicked Theory podcast, the movie.
The movie, because I like the word "the." So let's keep that in there as much as possible. So we're going to read some emails from the one we just did, but if anybody wants to send emails in for that one, send to podcast@wickedtheory.com.
I already have an idea for that one.
I'm sure it wasn't going to take a lot. I'd be interested to hear where it goes, though. I debated on whether or not to do that. Like, that was my first instinct. And then I was like, you know what? Just do it this week. As opposed to, like, doing it 3 weeks from now where it's like, well, I guess you had nothing left, you know, something like that. So I was like, yeah, let's get it out of the way. So let's go
now
with-
we know you had nothing to begin with.
Well, exactly. Actually, I had a couple of titles, and I was like, you know what? I could just save those
Yeah.
for the next time it comes my way.
Cool.
So in the email, though, we got some other pitches that came, and what we'll do is I'll go through these real quick, and we'll pick which one we like the most out of these four.
Okay.
There's four in here. So we're going to do them in the order that they came in. And so this first one here is from Chad Rose. He says, this is a great new segment, very inspirational. Here's a little something that came to me tonight after having to watch Pete's Dragon with the kids and missing half of the show.
Which version?
I don't know. He doesn't say.
Oh.
The good one. Pardon
Which one is that?
me. Whichever one you like. That's how that goes. No?
I was never a big fan of either.
Well, then there you go.
Just saying.
All right. So Chad's pitch for the beginning of the end, quote unquote, Spider-Man's demise.
Okay, cool.
It says Spider-Man John Leguizamo. I don't know if that means he's Spider-Man or if that's the director, but let's move on.
I would say that's your casting choice.
It's 2026, and Spider-Man has helped all but cleanse the world of criminals. In 2019, he worked with the government to develop CGSI, cognoscenti implants, the first implant to heighten self-intellectual crime sense. This heightened sense allows the implantee to be aware of criminal activity before something happens and ultimately avoid the situation entirely. With the help of these implants in the general population, Spider-Man now is faced with a new crime, the rapid decline of his own mind. As the co-creator, he was allowed the right to refuse, declining to implant himself, has now become the very opposite of the tech he helped create. The intellectual global standard intersection happened a few years ago for him, and now he hardly remembers who he once was. Meanwhile, the world advanced around him and has all but forgotten about the very notion for the need of a superhero. Sitting alone, staring at the window, the 200-foot-tall billboard across the street changes to an advert tailored for each viewer. Just wanted to scroll ahead and make sure we weren't getting a scene by scene. It flickers and tries to narrow in on his greatest need. After seconds of stuttering, it solids to cyan, and scroll text flows left to right. This is the beginning of the end. What does it mean? Was it all in his mind, or is there a ooh. Bob coughed up a guitar.
You didn't know that's where they come from.
I didn't know. Well, all of yours, I guess. So what does it mean? Was it all in his mind, or is there a disconnect from the system? Has the lack of an implant convinced the collective that he is to be pushed aside, to be forgotten? He leans forward in the chair, pauses, furrows his brow, glances left to the wall with a single scone light with a pull string. Hands on knees, he aids himself up, and with 12 laser-guided steps, he reaches for the pull string, slowly extends the metal bearded cord until it clicks. The wall starts to move, and then to the right, revealing a door covered by a metal web. Scene. That was quite the outline, Chad.
Yeah.
There's some decent stuff in there.
Very much so.
John Leguizamo as Spider-Man.
I believe so.
Well,
Well, he's older now.
He's older now, so yeah.
There's a New York City vibe there I can dig.
Right. And he's definitely going with the variation on the younger teenage, this Hispanic kid, right? Was it Spider-Man?
Miles Morales.
Right.
Yeah, it might actually be right. It could be Miles Morales he's talking about here. He doesn't actually say Parker anywhere in here. Although Parker, I think, is supposed to be more of a genius than Miles is. I think Miles is supposed to be more average. I'm not sure about that. But, this is actually doing some future stuff. It's This actually sounds like, with some work, it actually might be a decent Spider-Man comic run of sorts.
Kind of Frank Millerish.
Yeah, a little Frank Millerish because it's up in the future, a little bit of that. And then, him being out of sorts for a while, out of the game. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's that's Chad's. And let's jump over to...
I think
I could definitely see a Spider-Man like that going off onto an adventure that we don't even know if it's in his head or not. Like Moon Knight.
Fair enough. Yeah. Some head game type stuff. Sure.
I think this would be like Leguizano's first big genre hero role since Luigi in Super Mario Brothers.
It's since
Spawn.
Yeah, I was going to say since playing Violator.
Spawn. That's right.
Playing the villain in Spawn. All right, so let's go to James. James Hazelden Jr. He says, the beginning of the end. Think. It's June 2015, New York City. Trump Towers. Trump lowers Trump's office suite. Trump Towers, Trump's office suite. Alec Baldwin is playing Trump. He's reviewing his announcement speech while throwing back shots of Trump vodka, and then his phone beeps. He says, "Let's do this," and throws the doors open wide, and he walks out. It's a mockumentary of Trump's presidential campaign, avoiding all the actual speeches and debates. This is behind the scenes with speechwriters, campaign planners, family as he tours the country. Directed by Mike Judge from Idiocracy, letting you know what touchstone we're using here. Mm-hmm. And considering Hollywood's hate of Trump, I'm guessing for co-stars, you'd have your pick. I'll drop the mic and walk off now after putting up whatever Bill and Ed proposed to pathetic shame. All right, so he's declaring himself the winner already, which is very Trump-like.
Yeah.
Because this email is the greatest. It's the most fantastic. It's huge. It's huge.
I thought we agreed we weren't going to do these.
Well, this guy, he's not on staff.
That's true.
He was going to have a writer do this for him, but then he fired him.
I like the Mike Judge aspect. You know what's funny is because after watching War Room,
right,
and The Bunker on documentary now, that documentary is real, and it's probably going to get released sometime next year.
Yeah, there were people filming stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know how much Trump would have let them behind the scenes.
Has anyone here seen Wiener?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my god,
It's so good, right?
You gotta see.
I know. I hear it's like
my
uncomfortably cringy good.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is the most awkward thing you've ever seen.
So one of the things I'm thinking about with James is that have you seen on Netflix the Trump movie with Johnny Depp, where it's the Art of the Deal mockumentary kind of a thing?
Yeah, I've seen like pieces.
So I'm feeling that's very much in this wheelhouse kind of a thing. Like, it's like this super extended kind of comedy skit bit. You know what I mean? But he's got a point. Hey, just announcing this kind of a project, people would probably flock to it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we can skewer him? Let's go. But I don't know. I like it. It's pretty tough competition he's setting up here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump to the next one. Brian Hughes. Hey, Bill, here's my movie pitch. The Beginning of the End. A John McTiernan film.
Ooh.
Starring Tom Cruise and Matt Damon.
I'm in.
That's it. You sold? All right. Ed found his winner already. The U.S. president has gone rogue, and after the death of Castro and Putin's assassination, he has retreated to Trump Island to plan his next move.
Wait, hang on. Did he write that before or after Castro died?
He wrote it on the 29th. So it's Tuesday. I'm sure it was afterwards. Anyway, U.S. president's gone rogue.
I was after.
And after the death of Castro and Putin, he's retreated to Trump Island to plan his next move, which is Jason Bourne and Ethan Hunt must team up for their most dangerous mission yet to acquire the president's nuclear launch codes. And Intel says they'll be activated soon, and failure to get them could see the beginning of the end. So that's all he's got there. Very simple, straightforward. John McTiernan, Tom Cruise, Matt Damon. I don't know if the president is Trump. I'm going to presume that is Trump because he's going to Trump Island. I don't know if a regular U.S. president could afford the luxury of Trump Island on a regular president's salary. So,
well, by the time he's done being president, he's going to be worth about $30 billion.
Yeah, it's either
because he's going to know everything that's going on in the stock exchange before anybody else.
Yeah, I mean that's what he's hoping.
Well, that's what happens.
No, I know that, but I'm saying, but long term, you get a spike in the beginning, but sometimes you can get a downward trend. You know what I mean? But either way, that is Brian Hughes' pitch, a spy guy team up for Matt Damon, Tom Cruise. And then we got one more here from Agent Palmer. The Beginning of the End. A washed-out pilot, Jeremy Renner, attempting to finish his active duty on the ground, loses a poker game against a bitter old general, Harrison Ford, and is forced into replacing a bombing crew who recently had their own pilot wash out for what they don't know will be the last bombing raid before the end of World War II. Co-pilot Matt Damon and the rest of the crew have a hard time with their new addition, but will fight through flak and enemy fighters, see them crash and burn, or will they survive to tell the tale? So, washed-out pilot Jeremy Renner, he's forced to go on a bombing raid for Harrison Ford in World War II. It's basic, straightforward.
Okay.
It's very straightforward World War II kind of thing. Not bad. There's probably some Oscar bait in there.
Probably.
Doesn't have a director on it, just some actors. Not following the outline, but that's all right. Other guys really didn't follow it either. All right, so to review, we've got Chad Rose has his Spider-Man. Future Spider-Man 2026. James Hazelden's got the Trump mockumentary starring Alec Baldwin. Brian Hughes has a team up for Tom Cruise and Matt Damon of Jason Bourne and Ethan Hunt. And then Agent Palmer's got a World War II era bomber pilot Oscar bait thing, we'll call it.
I think my vote is for number 3.
Is the
Tom Cruise, Matt Damon team up.
That might just be good in general. Like it doesn't even have to be Ethan Hunt and
when
Jason
I heard
Bourne.
that one, I was thinking that it would be good, and it would also probably make a good video game tie-in because you got one character who's an action character, you got one character who's a puzzle, more of a puzzle guy.
Who?
Right? Isn't
Ethan Hunt is Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay. Ethan Hunt. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So the two spy guys.
Yeah, the two spy guys.
Yeah, two big spy guys.
So But I was actually liking. What was the second one?
So the second one was the Trump mockumentary with Alec Baldwin.
I'll go with number one.
All right, you're going to
Go
go
with
for the Chad Spider-Man 2026 Futureverse?
Yeah, because where I think of where I could go.
Yeah.
So Bella, I think this comes down to you.
Comes down to me. Well, it's not going to be easy, but I feel like I feel like
there's too many options for three guys.
it might be. It might be.
Maybe we should pick.
Well, maybe it's not really about us trying to pick a winner per se, as much as like what did we like.
Maybe we could narrow it down and then pick from there.
Well, or we
cut
could,
the chaff and then see who's left.
We could do
take two out and then pick from two.
We could do preferential balloting.
What the fuck does that even mean?
We each rank them and then combine them.
Oh my God, who's got time for that? We're already at an hour and a half.
I do it all the time.
All right. We're
and
just
you want us to do math?
I'll do the math.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, we're just picking faves. All right, so...
well, just say your pick of the four.
My pick of the four, then, is probably the mockumentary with Alec Baldwin. I'd hate to give...
So we've got three different winners.
We've got three different winners. I'd hate to give James the satisfaction because he came in all cocky at the end, like, I'll just drop the microphone now and take my award at the door, please, thank you.
Yeah.
But... he did take it for me, you know. But
well, I think the important thing here is that I really won.
I mean, but that's a separate round. You know, the emailers are against each other; they're not against us.
And we don't even have.
We fight amongst ourselves.
We don't even have to pick our favorite emailer. We could just say,
just read them.
We liked all of them except number
they
2.
were all amazing. Did you notice how amazing they all were?
Yes, they all were amazing.
Oh my God, the creativity.
Yes,
that
someone almost started a fight in the chat that Dom and I had to put down. But we'll put that,
I'm not sure.
Put that away.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll check that out later. I guess. Anyway. So that's that for Pitch vs. Pitch for this week. Remember, next week's is the Wicked Theory podcast, the movie.
Yes.
Write yours whenever you feel like it, but mail it out to us at podcast@wickedtheory.com.
You know, I think that one writes itself.
I know that's what most people are feeling. So
until you actually try to write it,
probably.
Yeah.
It probably starts with like, I just want to like do something crazy with XYZ, and then it's like, what about the rest of it? You know, directors, people. Make sure you put directors on it. That kind of sets up the whole tone for it. All right? Not to be snippy or anything like that, but
is it time for something else?
Yeah, it's time for emails. Email. We get some emails.
Who sent in emails this week?
Some people.
People.
Well, we know people?
We do.
Wow.
We do.
Cool.
Let's see here.
You okay?
Oh, by the way, Ed, I have the world's best knock-knock joke. Remember we were doing knock-knock jokes last week?
Yeah.
I got the world's best knock-knock joke. You ready?
I'm ready.
You're going to help me with it, all right?
I'm ready.
All right. You start.
I think
you fucked it up.
Knock, knock?
No, never mind.
Okay.
James is going to tell me I fucked that up.
What?
But you fucked that up. No, it's a trick joke thing where like you're supposed to set it all up. You go, okay, you start, and they go knock knock. You go, who's there? And they go, oh wait, what? And I've told people before that it's a thing where it's all about the setup, and you can't get everybody with it.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And even then, I have a feeling that some people would argue with like, that's not even a fucking joke then. You know, but
it isn't a joke.
It's a joke thing, but it's not technically a joke.
Oh, so it's not funny.
No, it is funny, but it relies on a lot. It relies a lot on the setup and the delivery, and then the other person not seeing it coming.
Oh, okay.
Or not just putting it together in those 2 seconds.
So
you got to get them to roll with it.
So it's for
the intelligence of the audience.
Yeah, and I knew that if I did it to you, you'd fucking catch it too. You son of a bitch. But either way, James is going to tell me I did it wrong. So I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry. I failed you. Much as you probably fucking predicted in your head. Yes, I failed you.
So who emailed us?
Well, that was one email. Oh, that was one. That was from James.
Yeah?
That came in the email.
That was the email?
That was the email from James. You know, and he went through it, too. He went through it. He was like, all right, you know, like, this one takes performance on your part to sell it and make it work. You have to build up how awesome this one is, unlike any other knock-knock joke the person has ever heard before. Then once you're done with the build-up, you say, all right, are you ready to hear it? They say, okay. Then you say, all right, you start. And then they say, knock, knock. You say, who's there? And then you wait. Just wait. Don't speak. First, let them think. To avoid the dead air, maybe have Bob do some light background music. But
So anyway,
but he said to me on Twitter that he actually got some guy on a radio show by calling in with that one.
Oh,
And
okay.
so he's had success with that,
Well,
that
anyway,
I have not.
He's commented in the chat that your performance is a lot like your math skills.
Yeah, the whole thing is he's turning the conversation on the person he's having the conversation.
Right?
with.
Yeah.
Instead of him saying the joke, it's like you go.
Right. And then that's supposed to stutter lock them up. Like,
Right.
right. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
it's one of these kind of bits.
It's how amazing comedy is when you analyze it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I want to do. You know, I just want to tell jokes that aren't
Well, that's
funny.
why you got to go to Harvard to learn how to write comedy.
Yeah, that's what they said. Oh, are we doing a podcast?
Yeah. So who else emailed us? Was that all James had to say?
In that email, basically, yeah. All right, I moved on. So emails for this week. Let's start with Agent Palmer, because why not? Gentlemen, in the past week, if the past week in your life was a book, what is the genre and the title of that book? It's just going off this last week.
It's really boring. Kind of like a.
I'm going to put mine in. You might fall into this too. Mine's called, and it's in the lullabies section.
Yeah.
Mine would be called Bills Pay or Die.
It's in the self-help section.
That's where I've been stressing out, paying my bills this week. Am I going to get that money that I'm owed?
They better give me that money that they owe me.
So that's it from Palmer. He just had one quick question. He was in and then he was out. Ed, do you have anything? Give me something. Give me something, Ed. Ed, give me fucking something.
Yeah.
That's also why
Watching
Palmer
TV.
don't get
I'm
second
sorry,
base.
Bob. I was talking to Ed. Ed?
Watching TV.
Yeah.
That's the title.
Genre?
The genre is reality.
Reality books now.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What were you saying?
Forget it now.
Okay. Because you were ripping on Palmer, so that's why I went back to you.
Yeah.
It was something about Palmer. All right, so we got one here from Stephanie Muniz.
Sammy.
From the Gotham Lights podcast. She starts out, hey, yous guys. Recently, oh God, where's this going? Okay. Recently, President Obama lit the national tree for the last time that he'll be doing it.
Oh, okay.
Let me put that in there. I mean, unless Trump changes something else.
He's going to get an
We don't
electric
need this tree. It's not a big deal.
No, he'll have the tree. He'll have a bigger tree.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
But
It's-
it'll have an electric button. But there you go.
And it'll
Hopefully
light.
be-
It'll
it'll
be
be
so
huge.
bright you can see it from the moon.
It'll be
you know?
like Yankee Stadium all lit up.
I want everybody on the space station to be able to see it. I
It'll
want
be
them to know.
huge. It'll be 200 feet tall.
It'll be gold. All right,
They'll figure a way to put those giant halogens.
that's it. They'll
The
just
ones
end,
that- the ones
they'll
they
end up
shoot up into the sky when there's a grand opening somewhere.
within an hour. The whole tree will just burst into flames.
Be 1,000 of them stuck on the tree.
So she says, at our house, we lit our tree last weekend, our own family tradition. So my question is, what's the Sweeney family tradition and an O'Hare family holiday tradition? Holiday tradition for both of us. I'd ask what a Tory family holiday tradition is, but, well, you know.
Well, Dom's in the chat right now. So
She
you
was just kidding, Dom. I'm sure you'll be there when you can, or you'd be there if you could, rather. Hope the schooling is going well, Dominic.
Well, Steph, if you were in the chat room, you'd know that Dom is with us.
Yeah, she
chat.
could have. Yeah, she could have just put pressure on him in there. Anyway, have a good one, fellas. Your pal Steph. So, Sweeney family tradition was we
before
get
Christmas.
roughly a week before Christmas. Scramble to go get a tree, and then it would come down New Year's Day. Was that what Mom used to do?
Yeah, around New Year's Day we'll go out.
At a certain point, when we were little, she used to leave it up a little longer.
That was the family Sweeney tradition.
It was just that it came down on a certain day.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
It never went up at the same time,
no,
really.
they always tried to. Well, for a while they were trying to do it on Christmas Eve and make it a Christmas Eve tradition
Oh, okay.
to decorate the tree
Gotcha.
on Christmas Eve.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah,
You know?
that's a lot of
And
hope.
For a while there, they were even getting the tree a couple of days before and leave it on the front porch, and then we'd pull it in the house on Christmas Eve and decorate it all. But then that became too much for Mom. She didn't like how it was coming out, so she would put all the tinsel on the tree and everything herself.
Yeah, I just remember it just being a thing where the tree came down. You know,
Yeah.
New
And
Year's Day was when the tree came down.
Yeah. The other Sweeney tradition was me and your brother David would, along with our other friends in the neighborhood, we would take all the trees that went out on January 1st,
Right.
and we would drag them down to the woods a few blocks away from the house, which had a creek.
Yep.
Which would have ice in it now, but it would still be running underneath. We would take the trees, about sometimes 20, 30 of them, and put them in the creek,
Right.
and we would light one on fire.
Right.
And then they would all light up.
It was a science experiment.
Yeah. And to show you how safe this actually was, the fire department would come, and we would still stand there, and the fire department would be like, oh, okay, you guys put it in the creek. That's cool.
That's cool. Keep the fire contained.
And they would just stand there, and they'd watch it, and then when it went out, they'd leave, and we'd leave.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
This was a different era.
This was a different era. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how things went.
Yeah, like you guys-
It did that once, actually, like that.
So like
That's fair enough.
The other times, we usually just ran.
Right.
So wait a minute, you guys were allowed to go outside alone when you were under 12?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were allowed to do a
wow,
lot.
that is a different
when
era.
I was 5, my mother walked me the 2 blocks to the school bus. This was we weren't even at the house we were at most of our lives when you were.
Right.
I was in kindergarten. I had to walk 2 blocks to the bus stop. My mother walked me once, and then I had to go all by myself every day.
Right.
So, that's
But
how,
she was
that's
watching
how,
you, maybe.
No,
Wow.
no.
You were on your own, bro. It was like being
Yeah.
raised by wolves.
And then when we moved to the house here, we were 2 houses away from the school, and I was always 15 minutes late. Because
Me too.
My
Me
mother,
too.
she would wake us up we had to be in school by 9 at the absolute latest.
Yeah.
And she would wake us up at 8:45.
Yeah. I feel like even when she did get us up early enough, we just didn't move. Like we were a house full of heavy sleepers.
Yeah, that's true.
And we just could not motivate. Because I remember getting up early enough to have a bowl of cereal, and then my friend Pete would stop by the house, like on his way there, and be like, "All right," we would walk the 1/3 of a block left between our house and the school,
Right.
Together. He'd just stop by and like join up. You know what I mean? But I was never ready. I just never ready. Always eating cereal when he got there, and just like he would just shake his head like I don't get it. Like, how come like you're just like never ready? Like why are you always ready? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not that house. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're lucky we're all alive. You know what I mean? I have all my fingers. It's a miracle. All right. All right.
Yeah, so
what about you, Ed? Any family holiday traditions?
I mean, nothing that exciting.
Nothing that good. Like, you probably have like real stuff. Like,
Well,
we
we
put
also-
popcorn on a string.
Yeah.
No, what? No. Well, my mom makes excellent Christmas cookies.
Okay.
And big thing was helping her make those cookies.
Right.
And like she would make batches for all my dad's coworkers and for all the family, and like that was like those cookies. It got to the point where my grandmother was convinced that my mom made those cookies every week.
Mm-hmm.
And like when she would babysit us, she would always like go looking for the cookies that weren't there because it was July.
That's funny. That's funny.
But I realized I probably need to bring a batch in a couple weeks.
So Chad says, Bob, Christmas fire tradition. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, there's also another family tradition. That's the Christmas morning breakfast.
Yeah, that's the current one. That's the newer one. Is that what you mean? Or just in general? No. I wasn't sure which one you meant. That like me and you and the bros try to get together now.
We do our variation on it.
Yeah.
Where everyone would come over. There's always how it is. There's always a house on the holidays that you go to eat.
Yeah.
So ours was breakfast because we would go to somebody else's house every year for dinner.
Right.
So everybody come over, Tina and all the whole family would end up coming over there.
Listen to Mom
so there would
curse
always be
and
like
bitch and moan about
5 pounds of bacon, 4 dozen eggs, God knows how many pancakes, waffles, everything all over the table.
Yep.
And nice late breakfast, 10, 11 o'clock.
Nice.
Everybody's pigging out.
Nice. No rush. No rush.
Anything that was related to breakfast was on the table.
See, we used to go to my Aunt Teresa's for Christmas Eve, and she'd always have like an Italian like fish seafood dinner.
Sure. Yeah.
And Saturday we usually go to my grandparents.
Very nice.
Yeah, although my Aunt Teresa's passed away now, so I don't know what we're doing. I guess we're going to my Uncle Eddie's. But no.
I'm gonna give him a fish he can't refuse.
Yeah. My Uncle Toby used to cook eels. And
right.
Yeah, that's you ever had eel?
No, not that I'm aware of, but I ate a lot of crazy shit when I was little.
Yeah.
My grandfather, I was like the taste test dummy.
It was good, but only like 3 people liked them. So I think he stopped after a while. We used to get like clam sauce and
That's cute. That's cute.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cute.
Now, did you open your presents Christmas Eve night or Christmas morning?
Sometimes I open them up beforehand when I found them.
We got to the point where we were allowed to open one at midnight.
Yeah, we got to that point.
And then in the morning, which for us would be like 5:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for our parents would be like 9:30.
I'll never forget, like, the first year, like, I didn't get up because I was the youngest.
Right.
Like, I didn't get up at... Like, I finally stopped getting up at, like, 6:30 or something like that. I got up at, like, 8 or 9. And then I got barked at by, like, the bros for getting up so late. Like, they're like, we've been waiting for you. Mommy's making us wait for you. And I'm like, well, then someone should have woke me up, all right? Like, you know? I'm, like, 12 now. I don't give a shit about, like, getting up super early anymore. Like, now I want to sleep. Like, I've hit the sleep phase of life.
If I was involved in that, being angry at you, I think you might have been a little bit younger than that.
Oh, well, fair enough. I mean, who knows? But, I mean, I just remember at some point...
I was just getting a handshake. I didn't
I just remember because my brother and I used to be in the same bedroom. My sister would have to walk through our room to get to her room.
Right.
And you know, they would go up to me at like 6:30 and be like, "Come on, go up and wake up mom and dad," because we all had to go down together.
Yeah, sure.
And because I was the union rep at the time.
Fair enough. You were that guy. I got you. It makes sense.
And they'd be like, "No, sleep." You know, just basically like we're waiting there until like 8 o'clock until my parents are like, "All right, fine, we'll just fucking go down."
Fine, if we have to. That's all I got. So somehow I came out of the notes, jumped out of the notes. But we're basically wrapping up though. There's no more emails. There's one in there from Mum-Ra, but there's no planned Mum-Ra bit. So if other people want to send in Mum-Ra questions for a future episode, no promises on next week, but you know we'll do it soon. Send them in.
And there's also another person who might be visiting soon. No promises.
Might be. We have to. It's logistics.
Yes,
it's logistics. But we'll see how that goes. Maybe as soon as next week.
Who's that? Kermit the Frog?
Not that particular guest. But
I heard he's unavailable.
We might as well.
He's feeling green. He's feeling green.
Feeling a little green.
We might as well say we dragged it out. No. Okay, fine.
No, fine. Uncle Vito. Uncle Vito might pop up. Maybe as early as next week. We'll see how it goes. See if we can get a hold of him. He's a busy guy. He's working a lot. I mean, he says he can't talk about what he does, but he does it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of those guys.
He can't talk about it here.
Yeah.
So he's going to move 3 steps
on the
over
phone. He's always like, no, not on the phone, not on the phone. And I'm like, all right. But yeah, I'm going through this ticket here, and I don't see anything left for the regular show. We're going to go slide into the after show, folks. All right.
So what did we learn on the show tonight, Bill?
We learned... I was supposed to sing that. Do you want to pretend it didn't happen? Do it again.
What did we learn on the show tonight, Bill? Oh, wait, you told me not to sing that because I was stealing it from another show. Sorry.
That's right. Anything else you want to kind of botch?
No, that's it.
Because usually that's my job. No? Okay.
No. Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Oh, that's another TV show.
Yeah. Should I do the Andy Rooney? Fucking or the Peter Griffin? It really grinds my gears. You want to know what grinds my gears? All right. That's going to be the wrap for this week, folks. Thanks for listening. As always, check us out at wickedtheory.com. Come check us out on Mixlr. Listen to the show live. Get in the chat. Because if you listen to the show live, you'll catch us still hanging out. We're not leaving yet. We're going to hang out for a little while longer. We're going to do some stuff. We call it the after show. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit looser. We're going to play a game.
It's unplanned. It could be disastrous. You should come check it out.
Yeah. I got a little bit of a plan this week. We're going to play some Super Fight. But Ed, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Edward O'Hare, TBD.
Bob, you're on Twitter too.
Yes, I am at Bob WTPC.
I'm on Twitter as well, at Wicked Theory. Hey, that's original. And, hey, check us out whenever you can. But do us a favor, stick around. Do the 3-episode test thing that was pioneered by Jay over at the old 7 Days of Geek podcast. The 3-episode taste test
challenge.
Yeah, 3-episode challenge, a taste test. We challenge you to listen to a fourth one.
Hey, some people listen to one and then decide to listen to all of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The 3-episode challenge is supposed to be like, listen to 3 episodes, you'll want to hear the rest. I challenge you to listen to a fourth one. See if you can muster. See if you want to. Oh, self-deprecating humor. All right, so that's it. That's going to wrap us up. Bob, whenever you are ready, you can take us out of here.